What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the third edition of Side Hustle Saturdays. I, of course, am your host, Donovan Sharpe. I am joined by my co-host, the expert, Jeff D, a.k.a. JD. How you doing today, man?
Great, man. Great.
So we actually decided on what this topic, we decided on today's topic about 30 minutes ago, and you were 100% in agreement. You're like, oh, hell yeah, we're going to crush this. So give me sort of your opening salvo on the best items to flip outside of electronics and why it's important to diversify your repertoire in terms of flipping.
Well, real quick, if you don't mind, if you want information this and you want a group where I have a lot of group members now sharing in random niches.
Yes.
Smart Flippers is my group. And
Okay.
so add yourself there. I'll get you in.
Smart Flippers on Facebook, correct?
On Facebook. Yeah, on Facebook.
Okay. Yep. Very good group. All right. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So I started out in this business flipping phones, which is something that we talked about a few weeks ago.
Right.
And what happened is the pandemic hit. There weren't as many phones available. And reasonably, I knew somewhere in there, like at some point there'd either be more competition or like the phone game would just change. And so I needed to learn other niches to flip in. And so I, from there during the pandemic, I did a ton of weight flipping.
Okay.
So
Right.
weights are still really good. They're not as good, but when you have a situation where the new weights don't exist and gyms are closed, it was the perfect storm, you know? And so, we can cover weight flipping.
Yes.
And then we took our money out the banks. And so then I went to buying silver. And so naturally I wanted to get the best deal on silver possible. So first I'll look online. That's what most people do, which is how I won in this game.
Okay.
And online, let's say you want to buy $1 worth of quarters that were silver. At the time, it was I called around a lot of places, and the cheapest one by far was $12.75 per dollar of silver coins. Now, I don't want to confuse anybody, but these numbers will speak for themselves. Okay. Online, $1 for silver quarters on all the sites was $18. So if you're a normal person like me and you're looking online and you're just trying to make a personal purchase, you're saying, okay, I got to pay $18 or I got to just make a different decision. So I went to a store. I bought $1,000 worth of silver, right, pre-1964.
Okay.
And I listed them on Marketplace for $15, and I sold per dollar, and I sold all of them the next day for $14.
Wow.
Right. So I mean, I basically flipped money. What I did is, because silver doesn't move a lot in price, but I still want some. I started keeping all my profits in silver. So
that's actually a smart idea. Now, real quick, why did you keep all your profits in silver? Because that to me is an interesting strategy.
Well, because like I don't want to all my money into a very slow moving asset, but I'm happy to put a ton of money into something that I didn't have money into. It's kind of like if somebody gave you something, you know, as an asset for free, you might not be as in a hurry to flip that asset because it's kind of
right. That's exactly right.
It's still an asset, but it's not like you. It's not an asset that you're necessarily foregoing another opportunity for, right? So let's say that I flipped 10,000 worth, and I really wanted $1,000 worth, and so now I have $1,000 worth, but I still have my original $1,000. And I can
you still have that principle.
Yep.
Got a $5 super chat here from Mike Sinatra. He says, "Is Amazon FBA worth it? I hear people are making bank off of it." What's your answer to that one?
Dude, I went so hard on Amazon FBA, and to be honest, I really enjoy it. It did have a sad ending. They kicked me off. I had a competitor buy a bunch of my products and then say that they were inauthentic.
And
after months of fighting Amazon to get my account back and sending them invoices and all the things saying that they are authentic, I just gave up.
So let me get this straight. So a competitor of yours, which and you were clearly, to me, that's dirty. That's the one thing about doing business online that you can't really control. So this competitor decides, all right, I'm going to buy a bunch of his products and then I'm going to talk shit about him. And Amazon kicked you off just based on his word. That is really messed up, man.
Yeah, I've talked to a few guys that are big in the business, and they basically told me that they could get anyone kicked off no matter how tenured they are.
Jesus.
And so what I was doing, so I was doing two different things. One thing, I was buying pallets of cosmetics,
Okay.
and I'd buy, like, it's crazy. You have like 10,000 of them, and you have to organize them,
Sure.
and then you have to label each one and then ship it back on Amazon. And
Okay.
so you're able to make a good 3x return net, after all expenses considered. And and that was a blast. I had a couple girls from local girls that would come over every single day and package things up and ship them out.
Okay.
And then I would look for, like, semi-annual sales at sports stores. There's one called
Okay.
Academy near me,
Right.
and man, I would clean them out. I have like 6 baskets. It was just such a freaking blast. And I'm good at it. I enjoy it, and I recommend it. I would do it again. To be honest, I would do it again in a heartbeat if I could just get my account back. So,
Jesus,
so
man.
that's my take,
So
and that didn't happen to everybody, but that did happen to me. So that's just maybe a
I
cautionary
think it
tale.
happened to you because you're good at it. Your competitors recognize, wait a minute, if this guy gets as big as we think he can get, he can he could really do some damage. Is there
Maybe.
any way around that? Can you get like an Amazon rep to be like, hey man, like I've reached out to these guys and they've literally told me they can get anybody kicked off. I mean, is there no recourse?
Um, well, it was a friend that told me that it wasn't the actual people that did it, because
Oh,
they don't tell you who actually did the deal. But I went from, I was selling hundreds of products a day, and then I had 20 inauthentic claims in one day. So it's like it was kind of obvious, to me. I'm like, dude, this is obviously not true.
Jesus.
So it's like I do recommend it, yes, but I'm not current, and so I wouldn't
Okay.
I wouldn't be the guy to go to for that.
I remember back when I owned my mattress store. I actually had a chain of two mattress locations, and I did some newspaper advertising, some TV advertising. But my main source of advertising was Craigslist. And I remember I paid a guy, I forgot how much I think I was paying him 250 a week to just advertise my stuff on Craigslist. He was putting up like 40 ads a day for me, and it was extremely profitable. But about 70, I would say between 75 and 80% of my Craigslist ads were being flagged down, and they
Mm,
were being flagged down by my competitor. That's the one that to me, that is the one drawback to having competitors in an online advertising or marketplace, is
right.
that there's no real way to validate any of this stuff. The reason why my ads were getting flagged down is because I was kicking my competitor's ass. And of course, I had to put more. Well, incidentally enough, it ended up working out much better for me because I had to abandon Craigslist and just advertise on TV,
Yeah.
which was a lot more expensive, but it was a lot more profitable because at that point, dude, my profits they were up like 6,000%.
Yeah.
And 3 months into doing TV advertising, I was getting so much business. I had to open up a second location in another
Nice.
town just to be able to handle all the demand. So the
Yeah.
joke was on him. But
Mhm.
for guys like myself who said, you know what, I'm just going to forget about Craigslist. That doesn't happen all the time. A lot of guys, I mean, especially on Amazon, you can't advertise on TV with Amazon FBS. So how would you so what would you tell this guy? So you said, okay, look, I would recommend it. I would do it again, but is there any way to avoid that, or do you just kind of have to roll the dice on that?
Um, if you hit
It's a
me up
tough question
after,
to
I do know
answer.
some guys that are still big in the business,
Okay.
and I can connect you their way. I don't know exactly how they work or what they charge or what they teach, but again, they may be able to shoot you someone else's way. And yeah, I don't want to steer anybody the wrong way there.
I
So
got
most of what I do is buy local, sell local, and I'm very
you. Okay.
current
Buy
on that
local,
in a
sell
lot
local.
of niches.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's the main thing. And then there is still a play on, like, buying local and then selling on it on eBay.
Okay. Oh, okay.
eBay's out is dwarfed by Amazon by a long shot, but it's also more seller friendly. Like, when you're selling on
Hmm,
Amazon, the person can make a claim for any reason against the product, not the claim that they did against me, but they can say the product showed up too late, and it's
sure.
fulfilled by Amazon, not by me,
Right.
and
Right.
they give them their money back. I'm like, I didn't do that. Y'all did that.
So
So
they would claim that the product showed up too late. They would give them their money back. What about the product? Do they get to keep the product?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's clearly a major
Like,
flaw.
it's like it's seller friendly because you can make tons of sales, but when it comes to the customer service, they will always side with the customer. And the good part is, like, you don't have to deal with the customers or their questions at all. But the expense of that, I guess you would say, is that they side with the customer. They're not coming.
Okay.
It's not often that they're going to be like, "Hey Jeff, the customer said this. What do you say back?" And then you're like, "Oh, well, I say this," and then like you're doing this whole dance. And
Right.
so I guess you
Right.
can justify the cost, like even though it does suck, you don't have to have a full time employee that's on like that you're paying, right? So
Yeah, of course. Of
it
course.
evens out, I'd say.
Moon America says, show us your old commercial. I actually don't have them anymore. Jesus, man. God, this was years
That
and
must
years
be
ago.
hilarious. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
well, I was never in my commercials,
Right.
because I was and this was in North Carolina, and North Carolina, that's the South. And I mean, I just had to understand that a black man was not going to get as much. I would not have had even, listen, I speak great. And just because news anchors are black doesn't mean that the predominantly white population is going to trust. And dude, I was a young guy. I was 30. Dude, what was I, 28, 29 years old? They're
Yeah.
going to trust some young black guy selling mattresses out of a couple of warehouses. So I hired
Yeah.
actors, and I mean, looking back on it, it was a lot more expensive than I wanted it to be, but the profits were out of this world. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll look for them, but I doubt that I can find them. Probably on an old computer somewhere. Let's see. Suleiman the Magnificent says Jeff's a legend in flipping. Okay, so let's get
Appreciate
to
that.
the yeah, man. Yeah, of course, it says that's a waste. Nice Dragon Kid. Okay, so tell us, give me some of the best items to flip outside of electronics. Start with the very best group of items to flip outside of electronics, and why.
So for me personally, I've had the best success with the weights.
Okay.
And the reason why is the clientele is very trustworthy.
Yep.
No one's gonna try to rip you off. You can have them come to your house. If let's say you have a 2-car garage,
Yeah.
that can fit a serious amount of equipment in there.
Of course.
And the cool part about it is that, like, I have a guy in my inbox wanting to sell me equipment, but I don't have space right now. And it's like hundreds of pounds of weights, a bar, and a machine, and a little bench and rack, and he wants $200 for it. And
Wow, that's a good deal, man.
I think it's a great deal, yeah. And so
Yeah.
that would be an easy turnaround for, let's say, $400.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in this case, this guy's hitting me up, so I could probably get him to bring it to me. So the drawback though is you need a truck, or you need to rent a truck, like
Yep.
a Home Depot truck.
Yep.
Some cities I've heard this the trucks are a little bit more busy. It's not exactly easy to just go down to local Home Depot and get one.
Sure, of course.
Um,
Yeah, you have to be in line, all right?
yeah, and then I have a guy in my group, which I've never done this, so I don't hype up a lot of stuff that I haven't done. But there's a guy making 2-3 grand a week
Woo!
flipping couches,
Wow, no shit.
dude. Couches.
Two
And he didn't have any employees or anything.
Holy fucking shit. This guy is making on average $2,500. This dude is making 10 grand a month flipping fucking couches.
Dude,
Why is that?
crazy.
And that's, I mean, to me, that's an evergreen product, right? People are
Yeah.
always looking for furniture. Am I wrong?
Well, here's the play. Here's how you do this. Yeah, everybody's looking for furniture. Everyone's selling their furniture. They
Yes.
already know they're not going to get a lot for it, and so he's on the market. So he's seeing the deals right when he comes through. He's assertive. He has the cash. He's not asking a ton of questions. He sees what he wants. He goes get it. Right.
Wow.
It's simple on the buyer side when you know what they sell for. You can be so aggressive in a non-aggressive way, just kind of being like, hey, I can come right now. What's your address? I have a truck and trailer ready to go. Let's do it. And then maybe at the end, you knock the price down $50 or something like that. But I think the gist of it is he's looking in the $100 to $150 range for sectional type stuff, and then he's selling it in the $400
Jesus.
$500 range.
Oh my God. Yes, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Taking good
And people
pictures,
who are
and he's
selling,
offering delivery. Huh?
and he offers delivery. That's why he's making the money. That's why he's
Exactly.
making the money, is because he brings it to, because most people don't have a truck and trailer. Most people, they either have to go to Home Depot or rent one, or Lowe's, or whatever the case may be. And if you can, well, hell, man, we need a
They're going to
section of
flat out
couches
tell
that
you in
says-
the ad, like, you got to come get it. I mean,
Yeah,
think about it.
right.
Like, when I sold my couch last week, I wasn't bringing that damn thing to anybody. I had
No,
to
hell
move it.
no. Hell no. Wow, dude, good for
Yeah.
him. So number one, weights. Number two, furniture. What's the third? What's a third category of things to flip outside of electronics that could really, really turn you a good profit?
If you are on the lower side of funds to invest right now,
Hmm.
kids' toys are good. So
Okay.
like Hot Wheels, you can find the like these big contraptions where they got a little million loop-de-loos and all that stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You try to find those in the $20-$30 range, and those will sell for 50-60 bucks all day.
Wow.
I recently did a Nerf gun flip, and basically what you're looking for there is you're looking for someone that's taking a crappy picture of what looks like a shitload of guns.
Okay.
Um, and I'd have to, if I sent you the picture later, like the one that I recently got, it was $60. Their little kid just like, here you go. And it's just this ugly pile of guns, but I could tell in there, some of them just looked big, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, like day two, I sold off the smaller ones for the same 60 bucks.
yeah.
I have like, I can't even close the back of my truck door. I have
God damn.
it's like that many guns, man. It's crazy.
Jesus Christ, man. Kids'
So
toys. Now think about what we're talking about. So number one, weights, number two, furniture, number three, kids' toys. What those three things have in common, as far as I can see, is these are, and I think I said it earlier, these are evergreen products,
yeah,
especially this time of year, as far as weights are concerned. And of course with the pandemic and the uncertainty with gyms, people want that at home equipment. People are always looking for weights, people are always looking for furniture. That's 12 months a year.
yeah.
And kids toys, people are having kids literally every hour of every day. So
Hmm.
those are evergreen type of products. I guess that's why those electronics are never going out of business. We know that.
Right,
But
right.
those three categories, that's incredible, man. It really, really is.
Well, I started the toy thing because my son's 7, and he's always bugging the
Perfect.
ever living out of me to buy him toys, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it from like a standpoint of I don't want to spoil him too much, but I also want to show to him like, hey, you can buy all these toys, use them, and still make money,
Yes,
and have more
yes.
money now to buy more toys. So we'll go to garage sales here and there, and we'll find some toys. And dude, the baddest Nerf guns on the planet and the baddest Hot Wheels contraptions on the planet, and then make money off of it on top of that. And
Unbelievable, man.
so I just
Because
don't want
kids
him to
get
be
sick
a
of toys
typical
eventually,
consumer.
right? No kid plays with a single toy forever.
Right. Yeah. That's the other thing is like they're gonna get tired of it. I mean, as an adult, how fast do you get tired of your new phone or your new computer? Like it's just another ornament.
Yeah, of
Quickly,
course.
man,
Of
quickly.
course.
So somebody asked if we sell car or if I do
Yeah,
car.
do used cars sell?
Yeah, I mean, especially now, it's amazing. God, there's a guy. Hang on. I really want to plug this guy because he's so freaking good.
While you're looking that up, I'll
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
tell you guys a quick story. Three friends of mine, when I moved to Reno from Vegas, me and a couple of guys that I knew, one such guy, his name is Moses Ludell. Moses Ludell. This guy wrote the entire Chilton manuals, all of the manuals that you see in AutoZone. He wrote them all on all of the Jeeps. It was amazing to meet this guy. So it was me. I had a friend named Robert, and another friend of mine named Troy, and Moses. We all went in on a used car lot. So what we did is we rented a very, very small. I could probably drive it out. I actually, Devin saw it when we were out there in Reno, right there on the corner of East Second Street, and I forget what the cross street is. It was right downtown. What we used to do is we used to buy used cars on Craigslist or go to the auction, have our mechanic fix them up and flip them for like a 300 or 400% profit. And
Exactly.
so what we did is we set it up as a car lot. So we fixed up these cars, we put a price tag on them, and it was basically it was a trailer, and then we had like a warehouse slash hangar. That's where Robert went to the back and fixed all the cars. So I did that while I was in Reno, and it's interesting because one of my haters, his name is O'Shea Duke Jackson. He keeps telling everybody that I was working out of some warehouse. I had a warehouse job in Reno. What he didn't know was that warehouse was where we were fixing up the cars. So
Right.
that was another business of mine. Now, we were making money hand over fist, but the city got to us because the city figured out what we were doing. We didn't have a license to sell used cars as a used car lot. In Reno, the way it was set up. If we had done this at random at somebody's house or whatever the case may be, then they would just leave us alone. But because we made it actually look like a business and people were stopping in from off the street with the city ordinances, they're like, nah, you guys can't do this anymore. And I mean, I was living in a small apartment in Reno at the time. I didn't have a front yard and we didn't want to make it look like it was redneck. But dude, so to answer his question, used cars absolutely sell. So who's your guy?
Yeah. Buddy's DIY is the guy. I was watching him today, and he's like me. Like, he covers every single detail. He's putting the game in your hands if you want to go that route. He's telling you how much the parts cost, what to look for, what he looked for, what he tested for, how much he paid. You know what I mean? Like, how he negotiated and thought process behind it. The guy is just crisp, man. His videos are good.
Good.
And he's really just
name?
like doing the Lord's work. Buddy's DIY is the name of his channel.
Buddy's DIYs. I'm gonna look for that link.
Yeah, look for it right now and see. If not, I can send you a link to him. But DIY. Sorry, DIY.
Okay, yeah, do it yourself. Yeah. Buddy's DIY. Let me look at it right now. So, how long has this guy been in the game?
The Buddy guy?
Yeah.
It looks like a long time. He's got 250,000 followers, and
wow, 272.
He knows his stuff, dude.
Whoa, sorry, hang on, guys. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, he just knows his stuff, and when I teach people how to flip, I don't
look at this.
I don't want there to be any doubt about the fact that you're going to buy it for this price and you're going to sell it for this price, and here's who you're going to sell it to. Here's how long it could take. Here's what to look out for. Like, I want to be very specific about there being no doubt about it, right? And this guy will convince you to do it, but he might convince you not to do it.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of work. And
so he tells the truth.
He tells the truth. Yeah. And so I'm listening to this stuff and I'm saying, okay, this is cool for him. I'm not, I don't know if I want to do that necessarily, but I'm listening to it because like just for the sake of like, wow, this is well put together info here.
Very good, man. By the way, George Kellis is in the house. George,
man, George is a beast, dude.
Yeah, George Kellis, he's a solid dude. Did you get in touch with Savo? Because I gave you Kevin Savo's information. Hopefully you found that. William Kime says, I flip horses. You can make good money. I can't imagine that most people could flip horses, but if you have acreage and horses, I'm pretty sure you probably could.
Yeah, dude, horses.
God almighty. Yeah, that takes
it's a funny word, but yeah, you kill it with a lot of niches, especially ones you wouldn't expect, like horses or something where most people would say, I'm going to flip a horse. It's like perfect niche.
Oh, of course. Like if you live in Texas or
right. It's very like, who would think to flip utility trailers? And quick story, what I did is I found a guy selling them far out of town. So you had to travel to go get it. So most people, when they do their search parameters, they're probably looking, let's say 40, 50 miles out.
Okay.
If you go 100 miles out, you maybe won't end up driving 100 miles, but you might drive 70 or 80.
Okay.
To find a guy that's out in the country. And most people want convenience. So go out to the country, which is inconvenient to go get that product. You bring it down.
Right.
And you flip it for 20% more. So I was buying trailers for $1,100. And I would basically, I'm on the border of Mississippi. And so I go to Mississippi. I didn't have to pay tax up there. I just get them to leave my name.
No shit. Oh, so because you're in Mississippi, you don't pay taxes on that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to bring it down to Louisiana and then register and pay taxes, but it's not for me. It's for someone else. So I get him to give me the certificate of origin and leave my name off the bill. And he knew.
Dude, Jeff, nobody thinks of this stuff. How is it that, like, seriously, I think this is why you're good at this. And you've said this before because you're very good with the details. But what you just explained in the last 34 seconds, that could mean the difference between being profitable on a deal and not. Do you have to have this kind of awareness already, or do you just have to have a certain type of brain to think of all these things? Because you're telling me stuff that we should all be thinking of because we're men, but most guys just don't think the way you do.
Well, I spend a lot of my free time just thinking, how do I make something work that maybe otherwise wouldn't?
Okay.
And,
Okay. Okay.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. 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 That makes
what
perfect sense.
happened is like I needed a damn trailer, and it was mid-pandemic because I was trying to do the weights, and
Yeah. Of course. Of course.
so I found all these trailers for sale that were almost selling for as much as he wanted for a brand new one, used, and then they'd be sold within like 30, 45 minutes. And I was like,
God
dude,
damn.
I'm just gonna go buy a new one, I'm
Yeah.
sick of
Right.
this
Right.
shit.
Right.
So
Right.
it didn't start out that way. But what I did is so I went bought it, and then one of the methods that you can do is you list something that you don't own to figure out what the price is.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So I was happy to pay the 1100 for this 6x10. That's what it was, 6x10. And then on the
Mhm.
way home, I listed it for 1450
Okay.
just for shits. And
Sure.
it's and somebody or on the way home, I had people aggressively hit me up like, I want it, I want it, I want it.
Whoa!
And
Before you even got home?
yeah, before I even got home. So on the way home, I had a deal lined up to sell it for 1450.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude!
And
Just like that.
so on that one, it was hard because I was like, oh shoot, see, he had already put my name on the thing.
Yeah. Right. 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 Right.
And so now it's like, okay, I either got to keep this one or I got to get a replacement title, which is what I ended up doing. And I ended up going buy a second one, bringing that one back, and then doing it right the second time, and then waiting on that replacement title. And in the meantime, using it. And then that's what I would do. I'd use them until they would sell, and then I would go get
Right. Of
another
course.
one
Of
and use
course.
those. So, because like one of my other core principles is that so for one, you can have whatever you want right now
Okay.
if you can flip up to it, and two, you like I don't want to have to pay for stuff that's not going to make me money. So
Right.
that goes back to the silver idea. Like I wanted to have a certain
Ah.
amount of
Okay.
silver, but I
Okay.
also didn't want to have to pay for it. And I wanted to have a trailer. Again, I didn't want to pay for that.
Right. Right. Right.
That's
Right.
a
Right.
lot of money for something that's really like not. It's not actively an asset. It's like
Yeah,
sort of
but
like a
still, it
car is not
benefits you though,
actively an
right?
asset. What was that?
It still benefits you though, even though it's not. Even though it's not an asset, it can still end up making you
Yeah,
money.
I know it
Man,
just
that's
wasn't good
incredible,
enough
dude.
for me, So so then I started paying a guy. I started paying a guy to go get the trailers for me.
There you go.
And then I was trying to work out a deal. But this guy up there, he wasn't so business savvy. And like what I was trying to do is I was trying to say, okay, I'll buy four at a time. Well, they
Okay.
come in
Okay.
stacks. You got to get a forklift and take them off and put the wheels on. Um, but it was going to be cheaper in bulk, and then the delivery fee would make it to where I was paying about the same, but then I wasn't having to pay a delivery guy, right? So then instead
Okay.
of being like 1100 paying a guy 100 to go get him, I was going to be paying 1100, and then I've been crushing it. But he was like, "Well, my guy's out," and then the next time be like, "Oh, my guy just he's not available for a while," and
Ah,
so
yeah, inconsistency. Yeah.
yeah, so you try to scale what you can, and then at some point you realize like, okay, this is not business. Now I have a free trailer. I'm good. I don't need to do that anymore.
There you go.
But I think I told you on one of the last calls I flipped a trailer. I found a 5x8 for 400 and sold it for 800 the next day. So there's some money in like doing used to use flips. Um, and again, you get them to sign the bill of sale. You just
Yeah. Right.
don't
Right.
put your name on it because you're like, yeah, if they ask you, yeah, I'm picking it up for somebody,
BK from the Rocky says, Jeff, I've heard that some folks have a lot of luck flipping cheap books. How about you? Any experience with books? That's a good question.
That's an Amazon play.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
So
Very
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That'd probably keep you most safe, to be honest. So you can do
good. Yeah.
the used books flip, and you're just scanning the I think it's called the ISBN, right?
Yeah. ISBM. That's exactly right.
And
Yeah. Even
those,
I know that.
and then the Amazon app will tell you what it's selling for, and then it'll tell
Okay.
you after fees what you would get, and then you make your decision accordingly.
It sounds to me, and 12 Play says this is the direction you need to take, Donovan. Great stuff. This is your lane. Not really. This is definitely JD's lane. It sounds to me, um, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but if somebody and I think you just mentioned a term, you said flip up to that. So in order to get up to flipping cars, I guess the ultimate flips are houses, right? You make the most
Yeah,
money at with flipping houses. Next in line, you're probably talking automobiles, boats. I don't know
yeah,
anybody who flips.
ATVs
Yeah,
maybe, golf
there you
carts.
go.
Yeah,
But you got to start somewhere.
yep,
And so I think a lot of time if somebody really wants to get started, okay, I got to start this thing small, make out a plan, be like, listen, in 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, I want to be flipping houses. and you can literally start with almost no money. So what
Right.
you could do is you could start off flipping inexpensive stuff. As BK from the Rocky says, Jeff, thanks. Um, flipping used books, kids' toys, things of that nature. Then maybe
Yeah.
you can move up to flipping electronics. And before you know it, and you have to be a good steward, with your money,
Yeah.
because and I would almost think, Jeff, is that you have to continue to reinvest in the business. You can't really use the money that you're
Yeah.
making flipping on life. You have to put your profits back into the business. Then when you get into the upper echelons, then maybe you can start paying yourself. What are your
Right.
thoughts on that? Or I mean, depending upon how you are financially, you can just kind of start either in the middle or the top, depending on what your finances are.
Yeah, dude, that is a perfect point because so what like the best way to start, even if it's something bigger, let's say it's if you did want to flip cars, what you would do is you would spend the time and the effort learning about, let's say, the server that you want, and then
Yes.
you look for deals on that car just for weeks or months, depending on how long you want it, and you buy the car because you need the car.
Sure.
You want to make money from the car, but if you have to keep the car, then you're okay. What keeps a lot of
Okay.
people out of this game is they don't want to lose money. Like 9 out of 10 people, even listening to this call, maybe they're so afraid to lose money that they'll never make a move. And I have the same. I have similar fears,
Okay.
but I've developed a process of how to get over that. So if I want to flip cars, which I'm not exactly sure that I do, but if my move would be okay, I want to find the best deal possible on my next car, and as soon as I buy that next car, I'm going to list that for sale for a higher price, but also be happy to keep it. And
Okay.
so if you buy right that first time, well, really, if you found a good deal on the car, like then there is
Mhm.
no problem. Then you either
Right.
got a really good deal on your own personal car, or you got your first flip of many, right?
Yes.
And so, for example, a long time ago, I wanted a Chevy Volt. I was just obsessed with like the whole. I
Yeah.
didn't think I was like
The
saving the
electric. Yeah.
planet, but like the whole like battery powered cars. Just thought it was really cool to not have to go get oil changes and go to the gas station, things like that. So I was like, cool.
Sure.
I just go home and like plug it, done. And so I searched around for a while, and I found a Chevy Volt with 23,000 miles and a salvage title for 10 grand. I was like,
Okay.
"Oh
Okay.
my dude." And I knew that that was 2 grand under any other salvage title that I had found in my area. So
Okay.
I went and paid 10 for it, where I actually tested the concept and it would have worked, but what I would have had to do from there is I would have had to get my actual dealer's license or work with a dealer because at the
Ah.
time, I think I paid $1,400 in
Yo, that
fees,
dealer's license, man.
and that
That
was the deal
motherfucker.
killer, right? The 1,400 that I had to pay in fees was the difference, and like I probably could have turned around and sold that for 11 and just done
Sure.
that over and over again, and then I would have had a free car.
Wow, man, oh man. And it's the little things make the difference. A couple more questions before we wrap this up. Mr. Pirate Brain says, do people flip DVDs and VHS videos?
Yeah, I mean, same thing.
No shit.
That'd probably be like a eBay flip.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I
Um,
didn't know
you
people
can,
were still doing that.
yeah, like yeah, there's thrift groups on Facebook. I don't remember the names of any, but
Okay. Okay.
you'll see people posting like, "Wow, like the original Aladdin on VHS is selling for $100 on eBay or some."
Oh, it's see, when I saw that question, I was like, wait a minute, I shouldn't put that question out there because the answer is clearly no. But when you're talking about, I mean, like, the Little Mermaid, an original VHS for
Mhm,
the Little Mermaid, or
mhm.
timeless videos, timeless Disney videos, those, the longer, I don't know, the more time goes by, the more those become really collector's items.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that's incredible. Okay, very good. George Kellis wants to know, would either of you guys sell real estate?
I'm in the middle of a land flip. I mean, if that counts.
Okay, that definitely counts. Mr. Pirate Brain says, thanks for the info. Wow, see, even Mr. Pirate Brain was like, hey, you know what? This is probably not something I need to get into, but whatever. And here's the thing: you can go on eBay and buy like an 8-bit Nintendo. Like, I've been looking for like an original Nintendo Entertainment System. They're
Yeah,
expensive as shit, man. They
yeah.
really, really are.
Hmm.
And you really like a lot of these things are vintage items.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, go ahead.
No, no. You're good.
Okay, I thought I
Yep.
had one more thing.
Mhm.
And then of course, Eagle Z to the grave says, number one, sell dope courses like Donovan Sharpe. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm working on
Um,
that. I'm working on that.
yeah, listen, I'm gonna tell you what, dude. You could definitely, if you could sit down for like a month and put
Mhm.
everything you know about flipping, dude, you could easily
Yeah, I could have
do a flipping
subdivisions
course.
of it, like flipping silver, flipping weights.
There you
Yeah,
go. There you
I'm
go. Yeah, because the
really focused
information
on
you
the
get there is
phones.
priceless.
I'm really focused on the phone niche right now and
Okay.
building my and serving that client base. So I uh, I'm personally more obsessed with this topic, right? As far as learning new niches and doing
Yeah.
all those things, like I would take the time it takes to flip it or not I wanted to do it, just because that part is exciting as hell. Like just kind of
Right.
jumping in, you know.
No, I totally get it, and I think that this
Mhm.
is something you like to do, and I think that's probably why you're really good at it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Mr. Pirate Brain says, I've got 1,500 VHS videos and DVDs now. Bruh. Dude, he's sitting
Yeah,
on
look them
some
up.
money, man.
Look them up. Look
Man,
'em
oh
up, dude.
man. BK from the Rockies says the original Disney VHS tapes are collector's items. Remember, Disney only opens its classic vault every blue moon. Wow, that is insane, man.
Yeah.
Let's see, one last one. King of Kings, King O Kings says magazines are surprisingly an easy flip, like fashion and music mags. Man, like, dude,
Interesting.
dude, vintage games, shit. I'd pay good money for that, but good money
Yeah.
for vintage games, like Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
You know,
Jeff,
so
go ahead.
that hits on a different point. Like, most of my thought process isn't geared around vintage,
Okay,
or like thrifting. You know, what
okay,
they're talking about is a lot of like thrifting, where you're hunting for, metaphorically like gold, and
yeah,
that isn't my current style. My current style is kind of like I'm looking for something that's very readily available for slightly under market, and then
right.
buying it, over and over again.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
And listen, when you get into this, like, who knows? Maybe your niche is the vintage type stuff, right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
maybe that's what. And I think that it's a very important to flip things. You don't always have to flip things that you're interested in, but I think it would really help you out. Like, I love, I don't know if I were a flipper. I mean, I love vintage games. I love old school games. So I think flipping that kind of stuff would be fantastic. One
yeah.
last question. Front Street says, are used video game systems like Nintendo 64 worth the flip? I have all the cables and controllers to go with it, and like 5 games that were a hand-me-down from my cousin. I think they are. What do you think?
I don't know the market. That's why
Yeah,
I don't know
and
the
again,
market.
this would have to be something that he has to jump in and do some research
Yeah,
on.
so look,
So,
so if you have those things, then go on marketplace and see what people are listing them for,
okay,
and list it for something similar and see what it sells for. And then, you want to know what someone is actually going to pay for it. And then now you're in the game, right?
yes,
So don't
yeah,
discount the fact that you have one system to sell, which isn't necessarily a lot, but you
hmm
want to know, okay, like people are going to pay, let's say it's $200.
yeah,
So from now on, if you see someone list it for even $200, you're in the range of being able to make an offer. So let's say you start buying them for $100 a couple of week, and you're selling it, and then you just relist them, package it correctly, and take good pictures and all that good stuff. Be willing to answer the questions. People are going to ask you, like, can you send a video of it working? Can you send
yes.
maybe a
Oh,
serial
that makes
number?
sense.
Stuff like that. So I mean, I know some of this stuff, you know what I mean? But
Man.
I just don't get
It's a
involved.
whole listen, to me, I mean, look, we always talk about, especially in this sector of the web, the manosphere or the RP space, we always talk about becoming an entrepreneur, starting your own business. Honestly, I think flipping is something anybody can do. It
Yeah.
takes a while to start making the kind of money to where you can quit your job, and it's going to take time. But Jeff, if you put in the time and you're consistent with it and you stay with it and you keep reinvesting in your flips, I think the side hustle is something that a lot of people might consider doing to sort of get out of their 9 to 5s, man. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, because it's all the same. If you're flipping real estate or a book, the only thing
Right,
that
right,
changes
right, right,
is
right.
the dollar amount and maybe the competition. And but the truth is, like, a lot of the deals, a real estate deal could be someone that posted a house
Okay.
and that it's got some bushes in the view that look bad, and
Hmm,
you
hmm.
buy that house for 250. You rip down the bushes, you maybe repaint the bricks which white instead of the old look, which is kind of the old different little just kind of like the 80s look. So you
Yeah,
take the
right,
bush,
right.
white, you take this bush down, and you relist it for 275. This is all that I do, and so it's
Wow.
all the same on the way up.
Man, oh man, oh man. This is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
This is incredible, man. Listen, this is so next week, guys. Next week we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this at the same time. We're gonna start taking phone calls next week because a lot of you guys have like the questions that are coming in are unbelievable. Like these guys are asking really, really, really good questions.
Yep.
And to have access to a guy like you would be very, very helpful. Especially because you're experienced. Jeff, listen, thanks for making time to come on and talk to my guys today. Tell the people where they can find you, your Facebook group, etc.
Yeah, Smart Flippers, and then you can add me on Facebook if you like, and just shoot me a message and tell me how I can help you. If I can, I will, and we'll go from there.
He is JD, the master flipper. Thanks a lot, man, and we'll see you next week, man.
All right, sounds good.
All right, guys, we'll see you then.